A lot has happened in Dredge since my last tips and tricks video, and I've spent even more time exploring its mysterious world. I've discovered tons of new tips and tricks that I can't wait to share with you. Whether you're just starting out or already know a lot, this video has helpful advice for players of all levels. Later in the video I will even tell you the most useful tip that I haven't seen in any other guide so far. So let's jump right in. Be careful not to sell any quest items. Once sold, you cannot get them back and the quest cannot be completed. This happened to me by accident and I wanted to prevent you from making the same mistake. Examples of this are the belt buckle for the grieving father and the dog tags for the airman. Also be careful when transporting them because they can be lost when your ship gets damaged. Don't put fish that you catch in your trawl net in your inventory. It's much more vulnerable there than in the net itself. In the inventory, fish go bad over time. They can be lost if the boat is damaged and they can get infected. So keep them in the net for as long as possible because none of these things can happen to them there. If your fishing equipment is broken, you can still continue fishing. For example, if you want to fish for a certain fish but your fishing rod was damaged on the way, you can still catch this fish. It will just take much longer. Keep that in mind. Speaking of time, did you know that time passes 3 times faster when you're fishing? For comparison, here's how it looks when you're just sailing. And here's how it looks when you're fishing. Make sure you plan for this so you are not surprised by the darkness. The next tip basically says, crab pots are overpowered. They are by far the best way to earn money, and compared to trawl nets, they are not limited to just one. Once you invest in several crab pots, you should never have money problems again. And that's not even all. Since the last update, crab pots also drop research parts, making them completely overpowered. Before, you had to scour the world for them or do all sorts of quests to get enough research parts for boat upgrades. Now, you can just build some crab pots, sleep for a few days, repair them and repeat all that. This way you can quickly get all the research parts and money you need. And as a little bonus tip, I've looked at where it makes the most sense to place crab pots. The location is very important because each has its own crab species. In Stellar Basin, for example, there are crown of thorn crabs, which can be very annoying. They take up a lot of space and give you very little money. There are definitely better options out there. In my opinion, Twisted Strand is the best place for crab pots, as the crabs are relatively handy and have a high value per slot. There is actually a trick you can use to catch only trophy fish. Occasionally, while fishing, a golden segment will appear on the reel in addition to the green segments. If you are able to time your click to land on this segment, you will catch a trophy fish of extra large size and value. But did you know that you can force the golden segment to appear every time? All you need is a bucket of bait. Simply throw out the bait, start fishing and reopen the minigame until the golden bar appears. This way, all your fish will be trophy fish and you will make a lot more money. Night fish are generally more valuable than day fish. I always suspected this, so I did a bit of math to confirm it. In fact, night fish are about 10% more valuable than day fish, so unless you're afraid of the dark, it generally makes more sense to fish at night. Make more light. The more light you have, the slower your panic increases and the fewer monsters spawn. Little bonus tip, there is a very powerful light which can be found in the ancient lighthouse in Devil's Spine. However, if you want this light, you will need to complete the stone tablets pursuit, as a fused tablet is required to unlock the lighthouse. This tip is only for people who really love Dredge and can't get enough of it. Actually, there is a Dredge Collector's Edition for true fans. First up, we have the base game and all DLCs available for either Nintendo Switch or PS5, but that's just the beginning. Check out the reversible Book of the Deep inlay. It represents one of the relics you have to collect in the game. And how cool is this? A replica of the mysterious Sign of the Ruin Talisman. This is one of the items you get for buying the Blackstone Key DLC. For the collectors, there's a double-sided poster with beautiful artwork and a map with marker stickers. Don't forget the complete compendium of all fish and the aberrant variants, as well as a message in a bottle from the developers. And to top it all off, a metal doubloon coin, a true collector's item. I dropped the links in the description, so check it out for yourself. If you find interesting locations or valuable resources on your travels, but it is already getting dark or your inventory is full, you should set map markers. You can find them on the map, but they are also displayed when you look into your spyglass. This way, you won't waste days trying to find something again. Did you know that you can go behind the waterfall in Gay Cliffs? Apart from the valuable resources and the rare fish hidden there, this place also protects you. The serpent guarding Gay Cliffs will chase you as soon as you get close to it, but the waterfall will scare it off and it will flee. You are safe behind the waterfall and immediately after leaving it. When you start playing Dredge, you have a few options for improving your ship. You may be wondering which one makes the most sense. In my opinion, you should focus on engines first. More and better engines will not only give you speed, but also safety. On the one hand, you will be able to reach your destinations on the map much faster. And on the other hand, you will be able to defend yourself against monsters much better. In fact, you can outrun all monsters except the Leviathan with a fast ship, and if you do get hit, you only lose one of your many engines and are not completely at the mercy of the monsters. This is definitely a good investment. Speaking of monsters, never leave the borders of the map unless you want to die a quick and painful death. As soon as you leave the map, you will receive a warning, and if you ignore it, the Leviathan will start circling you. Its fins can already damage you, but as soon as it disappears, you are doomed to die. If you find yourself in this situation, there is only one chance left. Be quick and use the manifest ability to escape. This one was close. I could already see my life flashing before my eyes. Try not to leave the dock with any damage. However, if you are badly damaged or have a lot of equipment to fix, you may not have enough money for the entire repair. In this case, you should use repair mode. This allows you to repair individual areas of your ship or pieces of equipment. You should focus on engines and fishing gear so that you have the chance to earn more money and escape danger. Take your time to complete side quests. There are numerous characters who will offer you valuable loot and lots of money in return for your help. So talk to each person, accept the quest, and even if you have other plans at the moment, you can keep an eye on the quest and come back to it later. Be careful with mushrooms and twisted strands. It happened to me more than once that after I finally found the fish I was looking for, I hit a mushroom and it was destroyed again. Unlike the jellyfish in Stellar Basin, mushrooms don't infect your fish, they destroy it immediately. Always keep this in mind when moving around twisted strands. However, the mushrooms only explode with very high panic, specifically from the red eye and above, so some sleep before the tour should definitely help. Speaking of panic, always keep an eye on the panic meter. This is represented by an eye in the middle of the screen, which becomes increasingly panicky the more panic the player has. The higher the panic, the more dangers await you. More monsters spawn, nature goes crazy, and you see wild hallucinations. If you want to know what exactly all the effects of panic are, check out my panic guide I linked in the top. So make sure you get enough sleep to keep your panic level low. However, there is also one interesting thing that you can only experience with high panic. The black obelisks scattered around the world are only activated with high panic. These then reveal interesting lore about the respective areas. Scattered around the map are several stone slabs containing valuable equipment. This equipment is extremely powerful, has special properties and is unique, so it cannot be bought from merchants. In addition to its strength, this equipment has also the ability to increase the chance of catching aberrations. To obtain it, you must complete the task listed on the stone tablets. Trust me, it's worth the effort. Also remember to never sell these items as you will never get them back. Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to catch a certain fish but didn't have the right rod? Once you've unlocked the atrophy skill, this is no longer a problem. In fact, with this skill you can catch any fish without the necessary equipment. Just make sure you're directly over the spot when you activate the ability, so you don't accidentally catch another spot. Study the behavior of monsters. Many monsters in Dredge have specific attack patterns or movement behaviors. By observing these patterns, you can predict their actions and avoid unnecessary damage or danger. Understanding these behaviors allows you to react appropriately and plan your actions ahead of time. One example is the Mindsucker in Twisted Strands. He detects your boat by movement. Once you see him, you have to stop moving, and after a while, he will dive back in the water. If you want to know everything about the different monsters and their behavior, check out my monster guide linked in the top. The Kraken is one of the most dangerous creatures in Dredge. But did you know that you can actually get the relic without even activating the repelling machine? Normally, you would have to activate this machine so that the Kraken disappears for 24 hours and you can safely get the relic. But if you're brave enough and want to save some time, you can try to do it without the safety of the machine. Just drive into the middle of the basin and cast Banish at the perfect moment. Get to the relic and dredge it up as fast as possible, and then use Manifest to get out of there before the Kraken attacks. Enough waiting. Here's my ultimate trick. I only discovered it recently, but it has already helped me in numerous situations. At mapgenie.io, there is an interactive map that covers all areas of Dredge. You can get help here if you're looking for something specific or just want a general overview of all the interesting places. This map shows the location of everything, from the different fish to the different characters to the relics. You can even filter the map to show only the things you are interested in. Whatever you're looking for, this map knows where to find it. Be sure to check it out at mapgenie.io. However, if you don't want to take all the excitement out of exploring the map and finding things yourself, you might not want to use the map just yet. You can always come back to it later when you feel you've explored everything to see if you've missed anything. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't seen my last tips and tricks video, definitely check it out for even more awesome tricks.